Okay, let's go.
Alright, you intro it this time.
Hello, welcome back to Week in Movie Bros, where I'm, of course, Jacob from Jacob's Here, and you are.
I'm Raymond from the RZ Jones 18 channel.
Okay, my stories that we're going to be talking about that I kind of want to talk about, in which we could have similar stories, that's how this whole thing works here, is we have Swamp Thing I want to talk about. Not the TV show, but the cancellation and what it could mean for everything going down. I also want to mention the DC not going to Comic-Con thing. I think that's important to talk about as well, as they're missing an opportunity here. The D23 Expo also got announced today, the scheduling for the Expo, what's going to be shown
Yeah, I
there.
saw the scheduling.
So I figured we could talk about that. And I have a few other smaller stories if we get to them as well.
I am with you when it comes to the DC stuff with D23, and I also have a rumor we can talk about.
Okay, I also want to, I have the Wonder Woman poster pulled up in case we do end up bringing it up and things like that.
Okay. Where do you want to start first?
Wherever you want to. Oh, also, by the way, basically this is probably going to be our second podcast because I'm posting it simultaneously after I get done. I'm editing it, then I'm posting it, so it's up, we good. And so we also have a game that we're going to be playing at the very end, and it's approve or disapprove. So that's really exciting.
And that's for July, right?
No, this is for June because we're in June. It's the first weekend of June. So approve or disapprove. But that's at the very, very end. It's a fun little segment that we'll throw in there for a minute. But either way, whichever one you want to start with, I don't care.
We could put Swamp Thing and DC not going to Hall H all together as one conglomerate story. So I have been reading up on the whole Swamp Thing cancellation, and I no longer think it is just due to a subscription service being canceled. Now, this is a movie podcast through and through, and I want to make that very, very, very clear. However, in order to talk about the Swamp Thing issues, we need to bring up some political stuff. Going down currently around the southern area of Atlanta, Georgia, and South Carolina, where they shoot Swamp Thing.
I don't think that has to do with this.
I think it does.
No, I think that's a
Hang on.
I know you're going to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I personally don't want to talk about
it. I won't say what it is, but I feel as though what is going on there is pushing people away from wanting to shoot there. And I feel like that's because Disney announced earlier in the month that they're pulling out of Atlanta because of what's going on, because they're not going to use Pinewood anymore, which people are just slowly covering underneath the rug. It is a huge deal. Star Wars, Marvel are all shot there. And it's kind of, and I think that helped with Swamp Thing. But the main issue with Swamp Thing is that, we saw earlier last year with Daredevil and Punisher at the beginning of this year, how they gave it 3 weeks each of them to shine before they canceled, at least 3, right?
Yeah, but I think with them we kind of had a feeling that this one I think came out of left field, But I also personally I do have some opinions, but you can continue to go through yours.
I also think that the Warner Media app is happening, but if what you told me earlier that Swamp Thing's going to release its episodes weekly, then I don't think Swamp Thing is coming over to Warner Media.
Yeah, that's what Deadline, who was the person who first announced the cancellation this morning, who confirmed the cancellation. Deadline and Entertainment Weekly both posted on there saying that they're going to continue the week by week release of the thing. They're not dropping the whole season. So if Warner Media does, not Warner Media, if DC Universe does end up going down, it is going to be around for at least 9 more weeks or so. So who knows?
So I have 3 questions involving this whole DC Universe thing.
Oh, and before we jump over there, before we move over into it, for Swamp Thing, the research that I did, because I was really curious to see if there's any background things like you're looking into, and I think what you're talking about, I just don't like talking about it because I don't like political things, but which I think is normal. I think that does play a factor into it because it does link it all into those states down there. But I also think it's because they got taxed. Louisiana, which is where they film on site in Louisiana.
Oh yeah, the whole tax thing is just.
They got taxed $40 million for Swamp Thing to film there, which is part of
We
the
don't know
reason
the
why
number yet. We don't know if it's 40 million or not. It's a
that's
rough
what
number.
the numbers that kept popping up when I was doing research. It was 40 million what kept popping up. And what people were saying and things like that that I understood, that I gathered, that's part of the reason why it got cut, the 10 episodes, and so 13 episodes, because it was so expensive to shoot in Louisiana. And also the higher ups, which we have all known, DC, Warner Brothers has been going through a lot of changes in the higher ups of its system and things like that. And it's you know what I'm talking about, the people who work behind the scenes, and they were not a fan of Swamp Thing at all. They were not a fan of greenlighting Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing was greenlit beforehand. It was already filming. That's also another speculation, is that they did not want it to happen, and so they canceled it right away. Personally, I like the situation, which we're about to talk about, with the DC Universe, is that I just don't think DC Universe can afford a TV show like Swamp Thing.
I don't think DC Universe can afford a TV show in a whole.
Yeah, I don't think so either, because if you look at other TV shows like this, I think this is the best well-done TV show. I think this is, if they would have started here, like a year ago when Titans got first released, I think we would be on a different level playing. Maybe this
I think Titans showed how far this app was going to go. I really do, because Titans, from the get-go, didn't do very well for the streaming service to begin with. I think the height of the streaming service was their animation front with Young Justice. When Young Justice promoted on DC, that show gave it so much, like, everybody wanted to know what was going on with that, because they released 3 episodes a week, so we got, everybody wanted to tune in for it. And it was consistent, it went right with the other seasons, so it made sense. Whereas with Titans, they branded the show, they trailerized the show, and they were promoting a very different show. Whereas with Swamp Thing, through all the trailers that they've been showing, it is what the trailers have shown us is exactly what the product is, what they gave us, which is a horror-esque body type Steven Kubrick kind of show, a la The Thing, just with the creature Swamp Thing from DC Comics in it.
Kinda.
And
kinda like that.
And if they would have put out, I honestly think was what they should have done since the beginning, should have put out the first half of Young Justice and Swamp Thing first, and then this year give them more time to work on Titans, realize that they don't have a decent show at the point, and then do Titans now, and then get ready for a Swamp Thing season 2 next year. That's what they should have done.
See, this is what I think, and I see this coming up a lot, because Swamp Thing, I was really impressed by the love that came out of the community today alone for DC and several different things, and also the hatred. There's a lot of hatred online right now, but I liked how Swamp Thing has been trending all day. It trended since it got canceled. People were like, no, we're here, we're backing this up, you guys are idiots. This is up there with the other thing we're going to talk about, them not going to Comic-Con this year. These are the levels that we're putting DC on, and they're knocking themselves out. And but I think a big thing that kept popping up was the fact that it's overpriced. DC Universe is overpriced. Yes. That's one thing that kept popping up. In that, unlike Disney Plus, which gets released in November, there's no content on there. There's no original content. It didn't start out with basically anything. Like, it had Titans, but they should have released several other TV shows with Titans. It shouldn't just
Harley Quinn should have came out when Titans came out.
It should have been more. Like maybe Titans and Swamp Thing and Harley Quinn, or Titans and Young Justice and Swamp. It needed more content, and it never catched on because it never had enough content. And now that it finally does, people are like, it's over expensive because we don't want to pay for something that
Because when you look, so I hate comparing them, but you just have to. Looking at the base DC Universe Plus subscription when it first came out, to looking at what Disney Plus looks like, they are two so different. I mean, within the first month of Disney Plus, we get Lady and the Tramp, The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I just saw this and I want to know what you think. The High School Musical, the musical of the series.
Yeah, I already knew about
that. Like a TV show. But we get all this original content within the first month
Yeah.
of Disney Plus, whereas in not even the first month of DC Universe, Titans didn't come out till a month after DC Universe started.
Yeah.
It's just they did not know how to plan it out. The best thing I give this app, is the content that's non-original. They regularly update their non-original content. They just added on the best Batman animated series besides the original, which was the Batman. They just recently added the Death and Return of the Superman movies on there. They Justice League vs. Fatal 5. But that was the other thing they promised. All original DC animated films, as soon as they came out, would go right to the service, and that didn't happen because Batman vs. TMNT still isn't on there, and Batman Hush is the first exclusive to DC Universe, which I don't know how that's going to work now if the universe is gone. Like, where is that going to go? Like, are they just going to put it to Blu-ray again like they usually do?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know either. It's a good question, though. Like, all this content that they're promising, because they have so much other stuff that they're...
What's going to happen with Harley Quinn now?
Like I said, Harley Quinn's supposed to get released in December, right? Is that when?
End of the year.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. From recent usage, because I've never used it before, yet Swamp Thing was the reason I tracked it down. I asked you, figured out if anybody did have a subscription, because I wanted to watch Swamp Thing, and I won't lie, I wanted to react to it.
Tell me about your experience.
My experience with the DC universe is not good. I will not lie. It is not good. The content that they gave me was spectacular. Swamp Thing had the potential. I think it's going to be, this year's, this generation's Freaks and Geeks. A TV show that got canceled before its time. 10 years from now, people are going to be talking about Swamp Thing and be like, oh my god, they did something amazing. We'll see how the rest of the season goes. But with the first episode, the pilot episode, I would say they'd be talking about it and be like, hey, that was amazing, and they canceled it too soon. You know what I mean? And so the content was amazing, but the actual website was very lacking. Also, I think with them doing it weekly, I think was a mistake too. I think if
that's the other issue.
Because I'm pretty sure if I might be wrong, but I'm 90% sure because of how they've been talking about the Marvel TV shows, especially I'm just talking about the Marvel TV shows in particular. They're releasing them you can stream them all in one day, type thing.
That is correct. Marvel, they are doing that. With The Mandalorian, they are not. They are doing it week by week. Which with The Mandalorian, I understand. Mandalorian's different.
And I personally think if we would have got all Swamp Thing, right away, all 10 episodes, or we got all Titans, I think because that's what a streaming show is. I don't go on streaming services to watch it weekly. I go on streaming services to watch things, back to back to back, And it's just one of those things where I think that's where they also messed up. I think they need content that I can binge watch as well as, that's what keeps me paying. Not me.
I feel like they thought that if they did it week by week, people would pay for it more. Because then if they lost their subscription, then they couldn't finish it.
Yeah.
And that was the exact opposite happened. People watch the first episode and like, well, I don't have to subscribe anymore because it's not all there. I can just delete it and be done with it.
Yeah.
So to get prepared more for this, I decided to watch one more episode of their original content before we did this. And then I watched the first episode of Doom Patrol. The first 30 minutes of that show would have sold the season for me. But then the latter half lost itself. The stuff about I've heard from you that people don't like him. The stuff with Brendan Fraser with Robot Man, was fascinating with how they did it. But the rest of it, I didn't care. I didn't care about Elastigirl. I didn't care about Mr. Negative. I didn't care about the multiple personality girl. And Cyborg doesn't come until episode 10 of the show, which boggles my mind. And the villain is just so generic, like twisting of the mustache. I will get the Doom Patrol.
That's what I mean. And I don't know. I think part of Doom Patrol though, I think it's campy. From the trailers and stuff that I've seen, it looks very campy.
It's campy.
And so I think, a campy villain would go with a campy TV show. But I've never seen it, so I can't make any judgment calls. But for instance, sort of TV shows that I did watch that was on, I watched the first episode, and I'll be watching the second episode tomorrow of Swamp Thing. when it gets, when it releases. That set up an amazing storyline that I am completely and utterly invested in. It feels like a movie, and I just got my first taste. Like I got, the first little bit.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think Swamp Thing would have been served better as a film than a show?
No. There's way too many complex tackles that they're trying to do here that I think a long time. I think it's gonna be like a 10-hour movie. A very, very satisfying, I have to say, from what I can see, from what they're playing out,
Mm-hmm.
a very satisfying 10-hour movie. I just wish I could watch it all. I think that would make me much more happier of a person. But if that
Yeah,
being true, I would have got a 1 week, free subscription from DC Universe, binge watched the whole thing, and never even thought about it
and
again.
I'm done with it.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess it is a way to continue to make people pay for it month to month.
So moving on from Creatures in the Deep to people not showing up to things, DC and Warner Brothers again have screwed the pooch today when it comes to anticipating and giving fans what they want by not showing up to San Diego Comic-Con 2019. Now, what we do know is that Scare Diego is still going to happen with Warner Brothers and New Line, and they have a panel with It Chapter 2 happening that Friday night, I think. And I'm like, woohoo for It. Great job. The clown gets a moment. But speaking of clowns, we have this year, the rest of the year, we have one more movie. I want something from Joker before the movie comes out. And July is the perfect time to put something out. Comic-Con would be the perfect time to put something out. And then you and I discussed the whole Robert Pattinson thing. I don't think Robert Pattinson would have been announced as Batman if they knew they were not going to San Diego. They would have saved that for San Diego. He would have came out with the logo behind him with Matt Reeves standing by his side and then announcing when the movie comes out that the film's coming out in 2021. I guarantee you that was something they were going to do. So let me ask you this. What was in DC's head when they said no to Comic-Con?
So this is what I think, okay? And this is my personal opinion. Is I think we are slowly going away from these things, as a community.
I agree.
And different things like that. I think because of different things such as, Joker doing so well by itself, getting a trailer release and then some press for it or whatever, doing it so well by itself that I don't think in their mind that they need Comic-Con. Whereas before, they would be like, okay, we're going to release this at Comic-Con, our whole entire slate for the rest of the year, and maybe part of next year, the beginning of next year, we'll watch, we'll send out some trailers, maybe we'll get something cool leaked or whatever, and it'll cause a lot of traction in the media, and the headlines and different things like that. A lot of good traction for us as a oh my gosh, like a producer,
Right.
place and things like that.
Yeah.
And I just don't think they believe they need it anymore. I think they feel like they have reached the point of where they don't need us going and supporting them and seeing things and having the panels.
But see, that's where I think that's wrong, because for the past couple of years, except for last year because Marvel wasn't at Comic-Con, DC has been using Comic-Con to push their films and, escalate them and give people something to look forward to. Now, I do agree with you with the whole slate thing, because for the past couple of years, DC's been putting out slates at Comic-Con, and those slates have not come true.
Yeah, also,
So
I
kind of wish...
Part of me also, bringing that up, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, I just had a thought in my head, was that because they have made such false promises in the past, that they believe maybe if they don't go, then they can't promise us anything that's not happening because they're having so many changes.
But that shows a lack of anything that's going on with the studio then.
Yeah, but they are going through a lot. Okay, so I looked up, I went to Google before we started the podcast so we can talk about it, in length and what they've released. Collider released an article talking about how they're going to skip, yeah, you're welcome. I knew it was reputable. I knew that the source was, reputable, so I chose it. So, It Chapter 2 is the only one that is getting anything this year from Warner Brothers. It is going to be on Wednesday night during the 5-day convention next month. It doesn't obviously say what it's going to show, if it's going to be another clip from the movie like they did last year, if it's going to be a new trailer, whatever. I don't feel like it's going to be a new trailer, or if it is, we're not going to get it because we just recently got a trailer not that long ago.
Yeah, but the movie comes out in September.
I still don't feel like we're gonna get it. But with that being said, It Chapter 2 be the only one showing up. The movies that are coming out very, very soon, who, by the way, one still needs a trailer, has yet to drop a trailer. So we have Joker, which needs a second trailer here relatively soon.
Soon.
Birds of Prey has yet to drop anything except still shots. So that needs a trailer, which this would have been a great place to hit that promotion. Wonder Woman
Do we need a
1984
trailer for Birds of Prey yet?
Huh?
Do we need a trailer for Birds of Prey yet?
Yeah, it comes out in
When's
February.
it come out?
I would say we should start promoting in the next few months. I would say October at the latest. Personally.
Well, I think we'll get the first Birds of Prey trailer with Joker. I think that's when it's going to happen.
And so we have Wonder Woman 1984, which now we know from Patty Jenkins doesn't start promoting till December, which is weird.
Which is kind of stupid.
It's really weird. I mean, it does come out in June. We think it's a lot closer in my brain, but it's not, you know. Logically, this would make sense. If it was coming out in November, we should be getting a trailer. But it's not. It's coming out, you know. Then also Dune, which is, a new...
Dune doesn't come out till late next year. I don't think we need a trailer for it right now.
Well, that would be something that they would possibly show as well.
No.
In which they have
What
used...
else
Huh?
What else have we not? What else is coming out like relatively soon that has not got any promotion yet?
Relatively soon. From Warner Brothers? I don't know.
That's like really, really close, and we haven't gotten anything for it.
I don't know. Should I know?
Because you just said because you just said before you started that there was a trailer. There was a movie that we haven't got a trailer for yet that we need one for.
Birds of Prey?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I said. Birds of Prey.
Okay. I don't know if we need one right now.
Or like our first tease at Wonder Woman or something like that. Maybe not a trailer, but like a teaser trailer.
See,
what I mean.
No. Now see, that I'd be fine with. I know it's after Birds of Prey, but I want to see something from Wonder Woman 84. You know, we got like a sizzle reel type of thing with Birds of Prey earlier at the end of the year last year, like like showing everybody. We haven't got anything like that yet for Wonder Woman.
Well, I think it has a lot to do with the simple fact that the movie has probably changed a lot since initial production.
Clearly.
Because of the reshoots and things like that. And because Wonder Woman, rumored to be the movie that's going to change most of, you know, the DC. This is going to be that staple movie where you're like, okay, guys, you've been asking for changes. This is the movie to go watch to see those changes.
Which, I have a theory about Wonder Woman now. It's set in 1984, right?
Yep.
And Matt Reeves' Batman trilogy is set in the 90s.
Yep.
So what if they tweak it around to where this is when Bruce meets Diana, is in the 90s, and then they meet the new Clark in the 2000s.
I don't.
So like this.
My only reason
it's complicated any way they do it. It's complicated any way they do it.
Well, I don't know. It's possible, I guess, in a way, that they could do it this way, just because they are doing a lot of different things. They're doing a lot of risky things, I should say, in particular with this movie. This movie is going to be a lot, you know, it's either going to be a hit or it's going to be like a tragic miss, and there's not going to be any in-betweens here. And so, personally, I do think we should get something else. We should have got something. I think they missed out a whole opportunity here with the fact that, you know, not a lot of things are probably going to come out at Comic-Con this year. We don't have a ton of things to be excited for with DC.
No.
And which sucks.
This is the first year I'm not avidly waiting for Comic-Con to come around.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because I look forward to Comic-Con week every year because that's like when all the big stuff comes out. And
yeah, it could also
honestly
be...
I hope Warner Brothers shows up with Godzilla vs. Kong stuff. I hope.
So it could also possibly be the fact that they don't think they need Comic-Con to promote their movies, but we could still get promotions around Comic-Con for Warner Brothers movies. That they could use the hype of Comic-Con without going, which is cheating, and it's also very, very sketchy,
Yes.
and which I don't like that idea, but I could also see them using that idea.
I think it's a dumb idea. If you're going to use the power of Comic-Con, then be at Comic-Con.
I agree, but I know many other movies who put out trailers and do other things to promote their things when Comic-Con's going around, because that's what everybody's talking about is movies and movies and movies during Comic-Con.
Do you think since Star Wars isn't going to be at Comic-Con, they're going to release the next trailer for Rise of Skywalker during that?
It's very possible. No, I don't know. They might wait until
October.
Well, yeah, like October. Well, no, D23, which is in August, the end of August.
So
now, are we moving on?
Yeah, because I want to transition from this because we know that Marvel has a presence this year at Comic-Con. We don't know what type of presence they have. So earlier this morning, Rumorville started popping up, and the slate for Phase 4 was leaked.
Oh, hold on. Before we
jump for Marvel,
I do have a few stories on that. A few smaller stories, because I was going to ask you your opinion about one of them, which you might be asking my opinion about it. Go ahead.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so right now we have confirmed, not confirmed, rumorly part of it, a sequel to Thor.
Okay.
Which I think is as Guardians of the Galaxy. I think Thor and I think the sequel to Thor is going to be him being in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and they're just going to call it the As Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So there's not going to be any Thor movie. I think it's just going to be a part of that movie. We get the Shang-Chi movie, which has been confirmed.
Yeah.
Black Panther 2.
Mm-hmm.
Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
Black Widow.
Mm-hmm.
The Eternals.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the big one. The New Avengers.
I think it's still really early. I think that's really early speculation. For
the New Avengers one kind of gives it away for me. Like, why would they be doing the New Avengers already? It makes I don't want that yet.
Yeah, I don't really know. Movies I can say that are probably confirmed for the next phase. Black Widow will definitely be coming out, in which there's a lot of theories and speculations. I have some very strong theories and speculations.
Yes, you do.
About that. Based off some recent set photos that that have gotten leaked. And then also, I would say the Eternals, as they are getting close to being done casting that movie. And they have a director and that's written, type thing. That one's moving in fast production.
Eternals is coming.
And so my guess is it will be next year. It's going to be Black Widow in May, getting that, beginning of the summer release date. And then Eternals in November, getting that late because it's an iffy movie, and they keep putting their wild cards, I would say, in November.
I agree with that because Doctor Strange and Thor Ragnarok both came out in November.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I think that's where they're throwing their wild cards right now, is in the later months, because with summer you have to.
So I'm guessing. Yeah. I'm guessing 2021 we have a February, we have a May, and we have a November in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
I think February is Black Panther 2.
I would say so. It would make sense.
I think May is Shang-Chi. And I think November is Doctor Strange.
See, I think they would move, because Doctor Strange has leveled up so much since his initial release. I could see them giving Doctor Strange the summer and putting Shang-Chi in November.
I like Doctor Strange in November, though.
I do too, but I could see them thinking that he has enough power to roll the summer and be.
After the last couple of films, he's played a predominant role in them, so I could see that.
So, okay, since we're talking about this, we got an announcement today. I was going through and I was looking and I was like, I'm wondering, if anything has dropped in the last hours or recent days or whatever. And I was going through my movie thing, and Fantastic Four has had an announcement
for 2022.
So it got announced that it will be coming out in 2022, with the director of Peyton Reed from Ant-Man helming the project.
This is a rumor. We don't know if it's 2022 yet or no. Hasn't been confirmed.
See here. I can click on the article.
I don't think Peyton Reed's officially attached yet. They want him to do it.
The article title says Fantastic Four is finally coming to the MCU with Ant-Man director Peyton Reed.
If Peyton Reed's attached, that's great. But 2022?
Personally agree with that. A statement right there. Just because I think the weakest parts of Ant-Man movies are the director. I don't think he understands how to. I don't think he knows how to use the characters. Maybe fresh characters is what he needs. Huh?
2022 though.
Yeah. So
that's kind of early.
Well, personally, it's been a long time. I mean, that would put some time in between, with it. In between them, but I would personally say that's a pretty good ending because I'd say somewhere around either
the end of Phase 4,
the end of Phase 4, and to enter them into the Phase 4. I think so.
Oh, Feige, you and your numbering.
Let's see here. We are looking at both revival pan now, according to reports from not a very reputable source, but I would say with the recent leaks and different things that have come out, I would say, this could possibly is at 2022, which has been a number that's been thrown around for a little bit now. It's not like it's a new number. And we do have a scheduled movie for that year already. So I would say, yeah. And he also knows, and Peyton Reed has been somebody who has talked heavily about wanting to direct the Fantastic Four. And so, it also could possibly be with that.
Let me ask you a question. Say Comic-Con, Marvel comes out and says, we're not releasing a slate. However, we do have a cast for you. And we get the cast for F4. Just say we do.
Uh-huh.
How big would your mind blown if we get Krasinski and Blunt out on stage?
I personally would be extremely much more excited for this movie. And I'd be much more happier. But
they are destined to do this movie.
But with the fact that Krasinski right now is so heavily booked as an actor to the point of where he's having to push off projects he wants to do because he's committed to other projects, I don't personally think that they're...
But what if one of them is Fantastic Four and he doesn't say anything about it?
Well, that's also very possible. I mean, look at Brie Larson. She knew she was Captain Marvel for a year without even knowing she was Captain Marvel. So, you know what I mean? They're very, very critical over there. So, it's possible. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying I don't think this is the year that they're going to announce it.
No.
Now, I do think that they are going to announce Phase 4 slate. I still believe that we're not going to get every title from Phase 4 just because they do want to keep some things, hidden from us, as that's the game that we like to play nowadays, is no spoilers, But I do believe that we're going to get some traction. So with that being said, do you have any questions? Do you have any statements to put off of that?
I think we're going to get the next 2 years. I think we're going to get 2020 and 2021.
Maybe, possibly.
From them at Comic-Con.
With that being said, we're going to move over into D23 Expo 2019 schedule. We're going to go through each day and how excited we are for this or not. Personally,
I'm ecstatic for this.
All right, so it starts on Friday, August 23rd, and this is the Disney Legends Award Ceremony, which will take place at 10:30 a.m. The ceremony hosted by several other big people in the thing, and we have several winners such as Robert Downey Jr., Jon Favreau, James Earl Jones, Kenny Ortega, and a few other people that we know. Hans Zimmerman is also another one of those. On the afternoon of... Sorry.
So people want to know what this is. Every year, Disney... It's pretty much like their Hall of Fame for Disney.
Yeah, it's the honor of the veterans, the visionaries, and things.
And so this year is the big year because a bunch of Marvel characters are going, or a bunch of Marvel actors are going into their Hall of Fame. There is also a animation / Marvel person going in for this Hall of Fame. Ming Zhang, who's on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., a.k.a. Mulan, is finally going into the Hall of Fame. She plays Agent... Oh, man. What's her name? It's Agent something on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I assumed it was a movie.
And, but she's going in, and the big one for me is Robert Downey Jr. He's put in his time at Disney. I think he deserves this going forward. And then Jon Favreau, I think, deserves it too. Kenny Ortega deserves it too for High School Musical alone.
And Descendants, which Descendants is really making me mad, so we're not going to talk about it, though.
The trailers for that movie are not looking good.
No, it's not that. I'm very, very much anticipating this movie. It's the fact that we still have yet to get a release date from it, and it comes out.
We know the release date.
No, we don't have a release date unless it just got announced. I didn't know about it.
I think it comes out in July.
There has been no permanent release date. I looked it up several times. Just to put that one out there. But on Friday following, at afternoon at 3:30 p.m., the highly anticipated streaming service Disney Plus will guess a first look at some of its original content, including, but not certain, not like, could be more. Lady and the Tramp will get its first official trailer, probably, or maybe like a look, a first look.
I'm excited about that.
The Mandalorian will also get its first look. The High School Musical, or like the...
It's such a long title.
High School Musical, the series, which is ridiculously long. Someone should have been in the editing room with that one. And many, many more during the Star Footage presentation. This is probably going to be one of the most anticipated presentations of the weekend, just because Disney Plus is such a huge deal right now, Right?
Yeah.
But I think that sounds really great. I think that's going to be a really, really fun one. Obviously, we don't get to watch it.
I have an update.
About what?
Descendants 3, August 2nd, 2019.
August 2nd. That just got announced then. Not that long ago, since I was just looking it up the other day.
The film is set to premiere on Disney Channel on August 2nd, 2019.
Thank God. I have a date. So, which is weird. I think it should be released during midsummer.
It was revealed a week ago.
Okay. So, on Saturday, moving from Friday, on Saturday, August 24th, the Walt Disney Studios present a behind-the-scenes look at its blockbuster collection of upcoming films on Saturday, August 24th at 10 a.m. Fans will see what's on the drawing board via acclaimed filmmakers at Walt Disney Studio and Pixar Animation Studio, and get a peek at the exciting slate of live-action projects from Disney and Marvel Studios to Star Wars. As always, attendees will be treated to exclusive footage, special guest appearance, and more.
I have an interesting fact about that one. Where was the mention of Fox's projects?
Not going to be a part of it. Sorry.
It has to be. It's part of Disney now.
Yeah, no. Sorry. Not today.
By the way, yes or no, second trailer for Frozen 2 at this convention that gets released to the public.
Yeah, I could see that. I would say that would get released, and I would say this is also where they would announce the slate, if they're going to announce a slate for Marvel. I would say it's going to be at Expo.
At D23.
At D23.
Are they planning on streaming this at all this year or no?
We'll probably get the conversations. They did last year, so
I hope so. I wouldn't mind watching these when they revealed them.
So yeah, who knows? We'll obviously have to wait and see. But on Sunday, closing out the weekend, Sunday, August 25th at 10:30 a.m., step into magical Disney parks, and this is obviously the experiences. They'll talk about all the new stuff that's coming, the resorts, and the whole 9 yards, the Marble Land, the developments on, several different other rides and different things that most people are anticipating. Well, that's the day that's for. Movies are Saturday, Disney Plus is Friday, and theme park is Sunday. It is the weekend for Disney Expo. Which, I don't really care about theme parks, so I'm not super excited for that, but, I know people who would probably be.
But I love how much they're putting forth the effort to promote Disney Plus, because usually Fridays is their movie day. But the fact they're giving their first real big day to Disney Plus shows a lot how much they're confident in it, which is awesome.
Yeah, I think Disney Plus is going to be a big day overall,
We're going to get a lot of stuff out of that one. Mandalorian trailer. We're definitely going to get the Mandalorian trailer.
Hopefully.
That day.
I'm very, very
need
hoping,
a trailer for
I think, to get more people excited for the content that's coming, the original content, I think any trailer that drops should probably come to us.
I'm excited for Lady and Tramp.
I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't know. I will have to see how they do it. You know.
You know what's crazy? By the time that D23 happens, Lion King will be out.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, we'll get Spider-Man Far From Home, like all these movies that we're really anticipating and stuff this year will be out. Big movies, you know what I mean? Will be out to the public, and so they can release things that have, bigger meanings to them as well.
So, I know this is kind of crazy to think about. Do you think Favreau will come out on stage and announce Lion King too? If
Yeah,
he's there?
I could see that. Yeah.
Or we get the release date for Jungle Book 2, probably.
Yeah, I would say probably more likely the release date for Jungle Book 2, because The Lion King will probably be in production for quite a while before we get any big announcements for it. Some other smaller news stories. Do you have anything to add to Disney Expo this year?
Mainly just I'm excited for Disney Plus. I can't wait for the stuff to come out for it. I have never been this excited for a streaming service since Netflix was announced. I'm so excited for the Disney thing to pop up. I'm ready for it. I really, really am.
I completely and utterly agree. And so, yeah, I have a few other, like I said, all these stories are very, very small. There's not a ton of information for them, but we did get some other announcements. And maybe, possibly, we'll see what you think, a spoiler for a movie coming up.
A spoiler?
A spoiler.
For what movie?
I'll tell you when we get there.
We're not Does it involve anything I watched?
Oh, yes, it will.
Does it involve Spider-Man?
Very, very much anticipated movie of yours. I'm not going to tell you what. That defeats the fun.
But I don't want to know anything about Spider-Man. Sony's having their issue again. I don't want to know anything about Spider-Man.
So, IGN has reported that Uncharted the movie is set to release on 2020 release date. We have no date yet. We just have a year.
December 20th, 2020.
I don't know. I didn't click on the article.
Sony officially put out dates and pushbacks earlier today, and one of them was for Uncharted. It's either December 19th or December 20th of next year.
Well, what's gonna
come? December's is a weird month for that movie.
I don't know. See, I don't think so. Once again, I think people enjoy going to exotic locations during the wintertime to escape. Aquaman made $1 billion. Avatar made almost $3 billion. All because
Jumanji made $1 billion.
Huh?
Jumanji made $1 billion.
Jumanji didn't make $1 billion, but it got really, really close to $1 billion. There's a difference. We can't give it credit where credit is not there.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, it is released. It has a date for December. I'm assuming it's whatever Friday that is. December 18th is when it's going to
it's going to get the Star Wars date. Interesting.
That either means they're super confident about it, or they want it to die very fast.
Because if Avatar, if things are correct and Avatar 2 comes out in 2020, then poor Uncharted is going to get destroyed.
Not necessarily. People could go see both and figure out which one they enjoy better.
Uncharted.
And which it could possibly be Uncharted. They do it right. I've had some major complaints about this with the ideas that I've heard, some behind the scenes stuff that I've heard. I've not been super duper impressed, but Tomb Raider found a fan base, so I'm sure Uncharted can find a fan base. You know what I mean?
Anything is better than Avatar 2.
Not necessarily. If we get Underwater, I think Underwater can sell really well, especially in December.
No, just in general.
I know.
I don't care.
I know. So moving on, we have a trailer coming for Rob Zombie's new movie. I know you don't personally particularly care for Rob Zombie, but it's a story, and I think we should mention it. Because I think everybody gets... I love horror, so we're going to mention it.
This goes with Devil Rejects, right?
This is the third one.
This movie coming out?
Yeah, this is the... that follows House of Thousand Corpse and Devil Rejects. So this is the third movie. It's called Three from Hell, which will follow the three main characters from those two previous movies. We have got a photo...
The fat clown and the crazy people?
Yeah. We have got a photo. I'm not going to showcase the photo as it's not really anything you need to worry about. All the big news here is the fact that the trailer comes out in 4 days. That's the big news coming out of this. It comes out on Monday.
Dad's going to freaking flip out for that one.
I cannot wait. I'm very, very much highly anticipating this. Now, that is with... I'm kind of highly anticipating this. I have not been impressed with any Rob Zombie movie he's released in the past few years, but I don't think you can mess up.
Devil baby.
I don't think you personally can mess up these two movies. It's such a beloved franchise of his that I just don't think you can go wrong.
Beloved's a strong word.
No, it has a huge cult fan base in the horror community. It's so beloved. So just not by you. So that's my little horror thing. I thought I would throw one in there like I do every week. So with this last one, well, we had two more. The other one, like I said, both these, they don't really have any speculation to them. One of them is for Spider-Man Far From Home. You guessed it. So a possible leak came out. Spoiler from Tom Holland himself, because he is very, very... No, put your hands down. It's not really something. I think they already... Just listen. Okay? And it might be a major... I'm going to put this in quotations. Major spoiler. I read the article. I read what he said. And basically, to sum it up in, very short terms...
This is what I get for having this job.
Yep. And sum up in very short terms is that the internals, which are the creatures going around, are actually, like I said, could be a spoiler. Just give people heads up.
Wait. The Eternals are showing up in Spider-Man Far From Home?
Not the Eternals. Oh my gosh.
That is a spoiler. Holy crap.
Not the Eternals. What are those things called?
Oh, the Elementals. You threw out an entirely different story. From a know-it-all webcast, they announced that the Eternals were showing up in Spider-Man Far From Home. Angelina Jolie confirmed.
Nope. That's
what a movie.
We have the Elementals, like I said. I was like, that didn't sound right in my brain, but I kept going. Could be a major spoiler, could not be a major spoiler, especially if all your, everybody has a theory about the movie, so this kind of just goes along with it, is that him and Mysterio are BFFs in this movie, and that they are fighting the Elementals, and the Elementals became through when Thanos snaps his fingers through a rift, and that's how they came into his world. Which is something they've already somewhat mentioned in the trailer already.
That's not really a spoiler.
Which is why I want to tell you about it, because it's been going around. I saw a few articles talking about this one particular story.
I mean, I still think the villain of this movie is Mysterio, and the Elementals are all things in Peter's head.
But, once again, that is simply just a theory. This is fact from Tom Holland himself.
Okay, so before we go any further, Sony, I know you watch our show. I'm talking to you. Do you remember a little film you released a couple of years ago in 2014 called The Amazing Spider-Man 2? And how you put out so many trailers that it gave away the entire film? Please learn from your mistakes and stop doing what you're doing with Far From Home. I have heard from people watching these trailers that they revealed how he gets the black and red suit, revealed Mysterio's plan, and have also revealed Tony Stark's secret lair that he made for Peter. Yes, all within international and TV spots for this film.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the MJ one.
No. What MJ one?
Oh, nothing. That's fine.
Sony, you have done so well with your other movies. Why is it that with sequels you screw up?
Not necessarily. Don't.
Why?
Don't. No, they have a plan. Don't know what that plan is. Not really liking that plan.
What's their plan? To give you the film for like cheap 30-second spots and they go, hey, now pay it for the full thing in full.
Well, it's to give you all this false hope saying this is happening. But guess what? It's all a lie. Then your mind is
if that's why they're doing it, and it's just to play with the whole Mysterio act, then bravo on that. But if it's not,
well, then, I guess in their head, they're all like, well, the spoiler ban has been lifted, so we can spoil away.
For Avengers Endgame, not Spider-Man Far From Home, not for a film that's not been released.
So, something else. The last story before we play Approve and Disapprove, which we're excited.
I have a story.
Oh, you have one more? Sorry, you can go with yours, and then we can talk about my very quick headline.
Okay, so my brother does not give two shits about this movie. But the ad campaign, especially when it comes to posters, has been blowing my mind.
Oh my!
So there is a Huh?
It's fine. Go ahead.
You know what I'm talking about. So June 21st is a really fun day because it's the release of 2 toy films. The obnoxious piece of crap Child's Play movie and my most anticipated animated film of the year, Toy Story 4. But Child's Play is like, no. We're going to kill all your favorite little creatures from Toy Story 4 in these very fun posters. And today they released To Murder and Beyond. It is Chucky holding a null razor at a decapitated Buzz Lightyear doll with the helmet sitting next to him with a bunch of ash and soot on it. It is just going along with these posters. I want these posters framed in my room. Especially, I want the Buzz and Woody ones next to each other. They are hysterical. It is a smart ad campaign to say, hey, go take your kids to see this, and then come see my murder doll of death. Well, now, I'm going to go around this and talk about a clip that was revealed for Child's Play called Peekaboo.
I know what you're talking about. Didn't watch it.
It is fucking stupid. So, this film is really acting in on this whole technology thing because Chucky plays the game of Peekaboo with Andy. But it's not Chucky. It's a bunch of electrical products from the same company talking to Andy, all in Chucky's voice. And so he's playing a giant game of Peekaboo without even being in the room. It's stupid. That is all your story.
I'd also like to mention that Child's Play, in case you are planning on going to go see it in theaters, which I don't know why you are, but in case that is something that you're interested in, you're going to be spending 2 hours with nothing but crap. So just...
It's 2 hours?
Yes, it's 2 hours. So just to let you know, that's a very steep time to sit there in a pile of...
But, go see Toy Story 4 instead.
Well, you know, I wouldn't highly say that one either isn't anywhere near better, but, you know... Honestly, not looking forward to either of those movies, but that's fine.
What? Why?
I think the latest trailer for Toy Story 4 was very, very well done. Very good, but that's one.
There's so much fluff.
And personally, I kind of want to go see it for them alone.
To infinity and my foot.
But I have to say, I'm kind of over Toy Story. I think I've been over Toy Story for quite some time now. I think that's why I'm not really liking anything, huh?
So am I.
Because
I love that trilogy so much. Well, I don't want them to ruin it.
See, here's the thing. I started really thinking about Toy Story 3 the other day. And
if you're about to do what I think you're about to do with me in this podcast, don't do it.
I don't really think I like it very much.
Oh boy, I guess we're doing this. I brought it up. Might as well do it. So, why is Buzz Lightyear an idiot?
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I did take a poll, though, on Twitter. If anybody was curious about my poll, I did take one. Follow me on Twitter, at JacobsHereYT. Not to shout out my Twitter. Also, follow our Twitter, at Weekend Movie Bros. I've had to do a horrible job updating it, but it's there. You can go follow. But, Buzz Lightyear, I posted, we were talking one night, and I was like, is Buzz Lightyear an idiot? Yes or no? And the answer from Twitter was an astounding 100% yes, with 7 votes. Not a lot of votes, but 7 people all agreed that he was an idiot, which is more than one person. And then I asked Mom downstairs, and I was like, hey, is Buzz Lightyear an idiot? And she's like, is that even a question? Of course he's an idiot. So Zachary's the only person.
So Jacob, what do you like about Toy Story 4? The emotional story of finding your home, the ending scene that makes everybody cry,
did make me cry,
or the fact that Lotso is a purple loving fucking strawberry jerk.
See, I have to say the only thing I really liked about Toy Story, other than the Barbie and Ken thing, that was great. Barbie and Ken was like VIP, like the OTP of that movie. But I'd also have to say the Lotso stuff, really enjoy, but that's also because he reminded me of my principal a lot. So every time I saw Mr. Hofstra, I just laughed because I thought it was a pink bear. It was a big thing.
That's funny.
When you start thinking about it.
I can see it now, too!
So, like, when you get those speeches at freshman orientation.
The assemblies with the microphone. Oh, howdy, y'all. Welcome to Blanchester High School.
You know, like, when he would be giving those, like, loud speeches to imitate us, I would be the one in the back corner laughing really hard. So I'm just like, I just see a pink bear screaming at me. I can't take you seriously. Either way.
Welcome to Sunny Side, folks.
Either way. I don't know. Because I really started to think about this, okay? I like Toy Story. I have very, very fond memories of Toy Story. I have extremely fond memories of Toy Story 2. I have problems with Toy Story 2, I think, nowadays, more than used to. But...
Why are you critiquing these movies?
Huh?
Why are you critiquing these films? The
But
first
Toy
two
Story
especially.
3
The first two are nearly perfect.
But Toy Story 3, I had to say, is probably my least favorite. For several reasons, though. Like, it's not just one reason. I have a whole list. I can make a whole video dedicated why I don't like Toy Story 3.
Okay. I see where you're going.
And I personally do think that that is my reason why I'm not super duper excited for this new sequel, as I was kind of over the trilogy when the trilogy ended.
What's your other story?
Oh, okay. But I will end up going to go see probably both of those movies. And I'll do a hate review about Child's Play.
Okay. You brought it up again. I really don't get that at all.
What?
The Child's Play thing. If you know you're not going to like it, then I don't see fun in that.
It's perfectly fine, Zachary. You don't have to understand that I want to go see, and I'm going
to I want to do a poll.
Me and Dad? Huh?
I want to do a poll.
Okay.
On this.
Hold on. What time is it? 56. And the cards up above. You can see them already. It's going to be there the whole time. We're going to do a yes or no poll about whatever he's going to talk about.
Are hate reviews a good thing for filmmakers? Or not for filmmakers. Are hate reviews a good thing for films in general?
Alright, there's your question. Are hate reviews good for anything in general? We're not just going to limit it to films. It could be anything. Any type of media that you can hate. Is it good?
So,
is hate culture? It should end, I agree. But personally, I think some things deserve to be hated on.
So,
and it's not personal.
Let's go ahead, because obviously we have different aspects on this. So let's go ahead and get into this. No. I personally think no.
Okay, now I understand.
Because just because you don't like something, you shouldn't go on the internet and complain about it. I think you should be able to go on the internet and explain like how you feel about it. But just going on there to hate it just for the sake of hating it and not giving a reason why, I think is wrong.
Okay.
Unless you have a legit reason of why you hate that product, then you shouldn't have an opinion on it.
I personally believe.
But this is different with Child's Play. I understand why you hate it because we talked about your reasonings about hating it.
Are we just talking about hate culture in general?
Hate culture in general. I think that, say like with Justice League when it came out last year, or Star Wars: The Last Jedi. I watched so many reviews for those two films for people just hating it, just to hate it.
I would better agree.
And unless you have a legit reason of why you hate it, then critique it. Yes, explain what your problems are with it, but don't just spout going, it's a piece of shit from beginning to end. Everybody's terrible in the film. It's not worth seeing. I hate those.
Yeah, so like
for instance, really make me mad.
For other things that have been a part of hate culture, Solo, which is now a part of positive culture, which is weird, has its own day, which is just weird, but it's true. That was a part of hate culture, like really, really hardcore in the past year or so. Game of Thrones, sure, was not the best season of all time, but that was extremely, people were reviewing,
hate culture.
People were going on there and on websites and different things and reviewing it without even seeing what the episode had to offer. I didn't like it personally, but I haven't posted a negative review about it because I'm not sure where exactly I stand in the TV show, but people are going through and posting a 1-star and giving them the worst episode ratings of all time. It's a big thing right now. And
what pisses me off even more about it is this whole petition bullshit of people putting these stupid petitions together to redo Last Jedi or redo Game of Thrones. That is a giant FU to all those people who just worked on a project that they were really into and wanted to give you something. I feel bad for Benioff and Weiss. I feel bad for Rian Johnson because it's not their fault that people didn't like the movie. They went out and made what they made because they wanted to make it that way. And I don't feel like they deserve all that. The petitions, especially. I think the petitions are a little bit too far.
I agree, with the petitions. I don't exactly agree with the other statement, but that's okay.
Which one?
I think we need to tell Benny Hoffman and the writing team of Game of Thrones that they messed up.
Right, I understand that. Tell them that you don't like what they did, but don't be mean to them about it.
See, I have a very big opinion about this as well, because of my community that I'm personally in with Sims community and things. Hate culture is a very, very big thing in my community, and especially bashing people who work on the game, who spend years and years of their lives putting all their heart and soul into something, and something like, that is trash. I've done it before, but I don't outright say, hey, that's trash. So, but for instance, for two things that I think maybe possibly do deserve a little bit of not hate culture in general, but hating on, like rant reviews or something like that in general. Who knows? I could go see Child's Play. I'm gonna convince Dad to go see it with me when it comes out that weekend, and we could go see it, and we could absolutely love it. I could walk out of that movie theater saying, this is an amazing movie, and my review could be exponentially positive. But I promise you there's going to be some part of that review that I'm going to complain, not about the movie itself, but about the people who created the movie. Not the actors or the director or the writers, but the company that created the movie.
That's fine, but you understand the difference of hating on it and critiquing it. You understand
right now,
the difference.
I'm in full hate mode.
Right. My problem is that when I look at reviews that are just straight hate, I'm like, you're not critiquing the film. You're just bashing on it for the sake of bashing on it. Whereas I understand with your review of Child's Play when it comes out is that there's a difference between when you're hating on the film and when you're critiquing the movie. You're not being mean to those people. You're just explaining your critiques and you're not happy with the film. You're not telling them to go die or anything.
No. And I think that's going to be a big part. And it's part of the big reason why I'm not even, comes of the clips or whatever. This is one of my more anticipated movies of the year, just for the simple fact of what it is and different things like that. I'm very curious. I'm also very much dreading it. But I didn't want to put anything on the internet of me talking about Child's Play because of my hatred towards Child's Play. And I knew overwhelmingly I was going to say this is negative. All the things I've seen are negative. Overall, it's pretty negative. And that's perfectly, that's not fine. And I don't want to be a part of bringing that down. And that's why my review, I will save a certain little portion of my review to talk about how it was wrong that it was even made, even if I enjoyed the movie. But I could also go and see the movie, and the movie be absolutely trash, and I won't lie to you if I think it's absolutely trash, and I won't tell you to go see it, because there's no reason for you to go pay for something that's absolutely trash.
I don't mind watching reviews that are just bashing the film when they're having fun with it. Like, they're not just sitting there aggravating, looking at their screen going, this is complete bullshit.
Well, fun fact, hold on, because you brought that up. I do have something where I did make a review recently. It was a rant review, and it was me basically screaming, this is bullshit, over and over at the screen, angrily, like you did.
For what?
It will be coming up very soon. It's coming up next week on my BookTube channel, and that is The Claiming of Sleeping Beauty. I had to read it this week for a readathon that I did, and it's one of the worst books I've ever read in my whole entire life, and I made sure on all platforms that I am on that I told everybody never to pick it up and do not buy it. So I'm a part of the hate community. I thought it was ironic that we brought it up, and I'm a part of it. I'm posting a video about it all next week, because I think it deserves one, because it's so other trash. But I read it. I read the whole thing. I have full opinions. I have full lines.
Exactly. That's the other thing too, is that I read these articles or these talks from people who haven't even seen the thing yet and are completely and utter bashing. I'm like, you have no right to say anything unless you've seen something from it. That's where people are really pissing me off, because they're already talking about how episode 9 is going to be this utter crap. Like, you haven't seen the movie yet. you really can't say anything until you watch the film.
Yeah.
And whereas it's kind of hard to talk about this when, for me, when a good example is probably, I'm looking for a poster in my room that I have something for. Oh, Venom. I thought the ad campaign for Venom was utter crap. And, I
Aladdin?
was trash. Aladdin. I'll just use Aladdin. I was bashing that film from when the first teaser came out to when we saw the film. And you know what? I didn't post anything about it. I didn't write up anything about it because I didn't want to be part of that culture. That's not what I'm about. Until I saw the movie, I loved it, and my view changed around because I waited to see the movie to post stuff about it. I didn't want to post about it before the film came out because that's me bashing on it before I see anything about it. That's what I mean, is that you can bash the ad campaign all you want, but until you see the thing that you're talking about, you really can't say whether you hate it or not unless you've seen it. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, like, for instance, how Rotten Tomatoes had to change their whole entire score around because people were going on and bashing, like, DC movies early and type
or
things
Captain
like
Marvel
that. Yeah, and type things like that. And, for instance, for, Aladdin, overall, I think the critics absolutely hate it, and I think a part of that was because of the ad campaign. I think there's some reviews that I read that were on Rotten Tomatoes that gave it its score and things like that, where it was like, do you even see a movie? Like, do you watch movies? You're a reviewer of movies, and then but you look at the audience score, which is us, which has so many more reviews, by the way, which is the number that we should be looking at when we see Rotten Tomato scores, not the actual RT score. That was like in the 90s.
I think Rotten Tomatoes for the viewers.
Yeah, that was like in the 90s and not like in the 40s where is as, its natural score, or the 50s or whatever, wherever Aladdin was placed at. Or for instance, the new Godzilla movie,
It's so crazy looking at scores
as a
from what the
48.
audiences are. It's crazy.
It's a 48 compared to like an 87 for audiences. Obviously, when you see the 48, you're like, oh, I'm not going to go buy that ticket. But if you see the 87 by the 30,000 other people who's reviewed this movie, that's the person you should be following.
Let me ask you something about Dark Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
So you think Dark Phoenix is going to have that effect this weekend too?
No, I think Dark Phoenix. I won't lie, because I didn't think I was going to get to see it. I still don't think I'm going to get to see it. I've tried to convince Mom to come with me to go see it, and she still has yet to say yes. So I decided to venture into the territory spoilers for Dark Phoenix. And personally, me knowing a lot of new things about this movie because of spoilers, I personally don't want to go see it. I'm very disappointed.
Neither am I.
But I'm also hearing somebody's opinion. I watched a review, and it's an opinion about it. For instance, a good thing, this is obviously nothing talking about like hate culture or anything like that. This is a total side off. Tonight, as soon as I get off of this, I'm about to react to watching the Miley Cyrus episode of Black Mirror. I went on, Grace posted a review yesterday. Grace, beyond the trailer, Grace, I'll link her channel above. She's an excellent person. I'll link Collider also, because that's who we get most of our movie news from, is those two people. And so, you can use our sources
I trust both of them very much.
And she reviewed it, and she reviewed Striking Vipers, which is the first episode, and she thought it was complete and utter trash, and so I wasn't planning on watching it, obviously.
She didn't like any of them?
No. She liked the second one. I didn't watch her review for the third one, because that's the one I'm actually personally going to watch. So I don't want to hear anything about it, I kind of want to go in kind of blind, as a Black Mirror should. But she reviewed the first episode, which is the Andy Mackey episode, and she was like, watch it by yourself. I have complete warnings about it. It's extremely graphic. It's the only graphic one, I would say, out of the whole entire thing, or the most graphic one. And so it piqued my interest. I didn't go and watch it. But now that I know spoilers about it, I kind of want to watch it. So that's like the difference of, she didn't like it, but her not liking it made me want to go watch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I don't think hating on something is necessarily bad. For instance, what was it? What did I just see? Oh, somebody I watched in the horror community posted a review on The Haunting of Sharon Tate, which is an absolute trash movie. It's going to be in my top 10 worst movies of the year, and she posted a horrible review saying this is the worst movie, one of the worst movies she's seen.
Oh, you never watching the girl talk about this.
Were you in there?
I overheard you guys watching the video where her review got pulled down and everything, yeah.
Yeah, and they completely shut her down. And whereas I personally think, I've seen the movie, I saw it when it came out, I think it's extremely offensive to everything. All of her points were extremely valid to the people who, I love Hilary Duff. It doesn't mean I'm going to stop supporting Hilary Duff, but I think the movie she made was complete and utter trash, and I think you should not tear down a trash review because it offends you because of your property. You know what I mean? I think there's a difference between hating on something to hate on something than hating on something because it needs to be known that this is bad.
But see, that's where my other issue lies with this whole hating culture scenario, is that filmmakers and people in the upper echelon of Hollywood are not helping the situation either. When they act like sissies and babies when hard reviews come out and they go, "Oh, that's not fair. I worked really hard on that." Well, it doesn't matter or not. We saw it and we didn't like it, so therefore we're going to let them know that, hey, don't do this again. Ron Howard was acting like a little sissy when it came to Solo.
Especially with really, really strong, reasons.
Yes.
Being disrespectful, rape. That's what that's all about, Reasons that I think people should know about before we go and we spend time and watch those. Because I would love to have known about what I was getting into before I watched. Just like I think it's really disrespectful. That movie in particular, The Haunting of Sharon Tate, is extremely disrespectful to the whole entire Sharon Tate family and every other victim family that was a part of the movie. I think it was very badly taste, whereas you have Charlie Says, which is another Charles Manson movie that I just recently watched as well, where it was extremely well done. And that's the movie you should be talking about, And I don't know. But for instance, for that movie, talking about hating something, people wanting to see it, because of her strong negative hate, it actually got to number 5 in the iTunes movie section. Because of that, because of her horrible hateness, and because of the hateness around the movie, people want to know, why are people hating this movie? Sure, it has a 2%, a 2-star on iTunes, but it still got publicity and your movie still got seen. So ultimately, we're still helping you out. You know what I mean? But my last story, because we went on a tangent there. I think a very important tangent.
Sorry for that really giant side story. I just thought it was important we talk about it.
Yeah, I think it's a very, very important tangent. And please do please do go ahead, and if you want to vote, it's gonna be up in the cards.
And comment down on the podcast. Let us know what you think about this whole hate culture thing, and let us know about either your involvement or what you've seen within the community when it comes to the hate stuff. I really want to know.
And it can be for anything. It does not just have to be for TVs and movies.
No. TV, film, video game,
any
YouTube.
type of media platform. It can be for anything.
Because, for instance,
YouTube YouTube hate, period. I mean, not the platform, but the people inside YouTube. There's forums after forums on the internet you can find of people bashing YouTubers, certain particular YouTubers, calling them fat and ugly. And that's just unnecessary. It's just, if you don't like somebody, unsubscribe, don't watch them, and move on with your life. You don't have to
watch their content if you don't want to. It's not an obligation. You don't have to.
There's over 14 billion videos on YouTube. I'm sure you can find somebody who you're not going to say, "Oh, I don't think that person dressed right," or whatever. And that really does affect someone, personally, and that's affecting them. That's a direct, close contact. We're putting ourselves out there posting these videos. And you saying, "Oh, you're ugly," or blah blah blah, that really, ends up hurting one another.
When all we want to do on YouTube is just post content and have fun with the brand, not go on there to go, "Ooh, who's gonna make fun of me today?" It's
90% of the people who post content are people who deal with some type of mental illness or something like that, and so more than likely you're affecting them a lot more than you think you are, and you're driving them down to a deeper hole because they're normally posting content to get out of said hole.
Right. And I understand that you can't be mean. You can't say that to everybody because you don't know what's going on in everybody's life. When they post really mean things on the internet, it's probably because they're just having a really bad time and they have no other way to vent it. That's when that's when your own personal well-being comes into play. Like if you're having that much of an issue, go talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Because putting it out on somebody else is not going to help. It's just going to cause an effect and just keep it going and keep it going and keep it going.
Yeah.
This is a movie podcast, not a TED Talk. What's your next story?
Sorry, we got off on a little tangent there. My next story is Robert Pattinson's Batman movie that will be coming out very, very soon.
Yay.
It will not be another origin movie.
Which I'm happy about.
That's it. I didn't know if you heard about that or not. I found it really interesting. That's the last thing before we start our approve or disapprove. You ready?
It's not an origin film. It's set in the 90s from what we know.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't think it's true. I think we're getting a trilogy out of them. I really do. I think we're getting a trilogy. We'll know. I think we'll know by Comic-Con weekend whether or not it's a trilogy or not.
All right. So this game called Approve or Disapprove is simply we approve, we disapprove, or we kind of approve. Yep, and exactly.
So basically what we do is we go through the month that we're currently in. We talk about every film coming out during the month or the more important films coming out during the month.
Not
some
every
indies.
film, certain films are indies.
And we either approve, disapprove, and if we both approve or we both disapprove, then we move on. But if one of us is indifferent, we talk about why we're indifferent about that film. Or if we're in the meh, we talk about why we're meh about it. We do this all the time off YouTube. We did this all the time when we were just like we literally go through our phone and look at the year going around, and it was something fun we did.
If we think that we need to validate our disapproving as if it's a very, very popular movie or something like that, we, of course, will add in the casual comment saying, this is the reason why I'm not looking forward to this. Sometimes, it could just simply be because there's an actor we don't like. Mostly that's me, but, you know.
You're going to find that out very quickly in this episode, that most things Jay was not looking forward to is simply because of the actor in it. When we get to September's thing, woohoo! A certain film he's really looking forward to as an actor he does not like in it.
Who is slowly kind of growing on me, but honestly not.
Don't believe it.
So the first movie we're going to start with this weekend, even though because it hasn't. Now when you see this video, it will be the weekend. Sorry, spoiler.
As of 11/19, the first showing in my theater is at 11:30. So at 11:30, it'll officially be out, and we're talking about Dark Phoenix.
No, we're not. We're not there yet. Put your palm down. I'm talking about this weekend. You see this on Saturday. That's when this will go up. And with that being said, we do have to talk about the movies coming out this particular weekend because we're doing this on Thursday night. Anybody was curious? That's when we record these.
Every Thursday around 8 and 9 o'clock. Come on in for the weekend movie bros podcast. Pug.
Well, I mean, you can't technically come in because it's just us. But he means well. He means well.
Plug.
Alright, and of course, if you want to play this game with us, you can always play it down in the comments down below. You can go through the whole list and you can approve or you can disapprove. Always completely fun.
And my brother will put the entire list in the description box down below.
And I will not do that. You can go on IMDb. I'll put a link. If you want the link, I'll put the link. I'll talk to my brother about this. I think these are the first weekend. I think it's the weekend we should do live streams in case anybody wants to chat with us and say approve or disapprove. I think so we can have them much more. So maybe next weekend for July, we can do this as a live show and do these as live shows. Well, we'll talk about more as time progresses. We still have time to go through. But either way, the first movie we're going to talk about, because it's the first movie on the list, it's ironically not Dark Phoenix, exactly. It's Secret Life of Pets 2, in which we both, accordingly, disapprove. Which is interesting, because you would ask me 4 days ago if I approved, I would have been astounding yes. But my opinion has slowly changed based off reviews and different things and people I trust, and the fact that the movie is based around 3 different short segments instead of an actual movie. They're doing an Despicable Me. Huh?
When you look at the trailers, that makes sense.
I know. Now that you hear it, it's like so obvious. Right?
So, are they what? 20, 30-minute shorts or whatever?
So, according to my source of content, which I read a review, and then I also watched the review, on the movie, it follows 3 different shorts, that all combine in the end very, very loosely. There's 3 different stories that you follow, and they somewhat loosely connect by the end. But it's only an hour and 26 minutes, and that's not including credits. I mean, that is including credits. So it's probably only an hour and 16 minutes. It's not worth paying a full price to go see. Put your arm down. I know what you're. Are we disapproving still of Secret? That's fine. All right. So the next one is Dark Phoenix, where I am kind of still here. I'm still gonna go try it. You can put your hand down. I'm still going to go try to see it. It's not just for Sophie Turner's performance in the movie, which I've heard is outstanding. But
I'm gonna go see Godzilla.
Huh?
I'm gonna go see Godzilla.
Yeah. So personally, I hope I get to go see it. If I do get to go see it, it probably won't be this week, and it'll probably be during next week. If I do get to go see it, I'll review it, and you can know my thoughts and things like that. I'll call you and tell you all the good things, because I know you're not going to go see it. So that's also an hour
Which
and 53
really sucks, because I love X-Men. It's just I have no...
Yeah. The last movie is, it's coming, I don't think it's coming into a lot of theaters this weekend, because by Amazon, but I figured I would mention it if you knew about it. I don't know if you know. It's called Late Night. It is a,
with Mindy Kaling and,
Emma Thompson.
Yeah. I approve. I think it looks funny.
Didn't watch anything for it, but I think the pairing is really good, so I guess we'll approve. I don't think it's really going to do that well.
No.
But, yeah. Everything else coming out this weekend, we have a ton of indie movies and movies that are across the sea that are really coming out this weekend. But ultimately, we're going to move on to next weekend. So the first movie we're going to talk about is Men in Black International, which I disapprove. Well, no, I guess I'm meh. Yeah.
I'm meh on it. It looks funny. I'm waiting to go watch the movie to really make that statement true.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I think the last trailer was particularly funny.
Yes.
So I definitely don't agree with. I definitely do not disagree with you.
The pairing for me is what's selling this film. Thompson and Hemsworth are selling this movie for me.
But I also kind of feel like it's wrong because of the fact that they were in Thor Ragnarok. But then again, there's plenty of actors who like working together. This could be the next era. They could work together in several other movies past this one. So, it just happened to be this is the next one that they worked in. You know what I mean? This, of course, if you're wondering the time on this one, it's an hour and 55 minutes.
That's a good runtime.
So moving on down the list, the next big release that is coming out next weekend is Shaft, which I know you said you were...
I really can't say anything because I haven't watched anything for it.
I approve of this. I've not watched any of the things that came before this. From what I understand, you don't really have to watch anything because they're such old movies that came before this. But I think it looks absolutely hilarious. There's a lot of there's some, I won't lie, I think there's some comments that I'm like, okay, maybe that one crossed the line. Some jokes and stuff that they make in the trailers. But overall, I laugh a lot. I think I love Samuel Jackson. I think I'm going to really Samuel Jackson.
Talk about how there's a Shaft trilogy, but none of them have the words 1, 2, or 3 in front of them. They just call Shaft, Shaft, Shaft.
Yeah. Also, we would like to mention that you don't personally have to go see this in theaters because I'm not paying because overseas doesn't have to. It's going directly to Netflix overseas. Where the only U.S. is where we're at is the only place that is actually making us pay for it.
So it's really not a theater-going movie, if that's the case.
But if that is true, I still think one of my favorite movies of the year, which is the Rebel Wilson movie that came out, or favorite movie. No, that was this year. It was in February. The
Anne Hathaway Rebel Wilson movie.
No, Rebel Wilson and Liam Hemsworth, the love story one.
Oh, the musical.
It's not a musical, but there's musical elements in it. The love story one. It's a romantic comedy. Not that romantic, is that right? It is?
Yeah, not that romantic.
It also got directly released to Netflix like a week after, like Shaft is doing overseas. But I still loved it, and I'm very happy I paid to go see it in theaters because I'd be really disappointed if I waited on Netflix. So, you win some, you lose some. You know what I mean? The next movie...
Oh, I also like to add on to here, it just came out. Always Be My Maybe is on Netflix right now. I watched it. Go watch it.
Yeah, and so that's a really interesting statement you made right there, because a lot of people are debating if it should have went to Netflix or if it should have been a full release movie because of the wide appeal it's having right now, and the fact that Late Night, which should have probably been released on Amazon, they did a different strategy, maybe this movie would have made money. You know what I mean? So that's a big
Yeah.
conversation going around because it didn't doing such good work on Netflix. But the next movie we're going to talk about is The Dead Don't Die, which I totally approve of this.
Well, I don't even know what it is.
Okay,
So
this is the Bill Murray, Adam Driver
oh,
movie.
heck yeah.
Yeah. This is going to be in limited
This
release.
looks so funny.
We don't have official
So
release.
Huh? I think it's zombies. Okay, then.
Yeah, it looks so good. It's in limited release. I don't have official release date for anybody who does want to go see it in theaters. If you have a theater near you to go see it, I would recommend it because it might not be there
My
long.
theater's getting it.
Yeah, I'm sure you have the bigger theaters that are around that would get D&D films. From what I can understand, looking at this, that's the last one. There's a lot of other indie movies that I'm skipping over because I don't really know what they are. I don't think you would know what they are.
June's kind of a small month.
Yeah, there's not really big movies except until the end, in which we're getting there. So June 21st brings us to partially the topic that we talked about for a very long time in this particular video, and that is Toy Story 4.
Approve.
And which, once again, I'm going to be at the meh, and which I don't think I really need to talk about why I'm at the meh, because we spent such a long time talking about why I am at the meh.
And the other thing coming out on June 21st is
Child's Play. And which I'm going to disapprove, but with this disapprove, I want to go see it and to see exactly what it is, and, so, wait a minute, actually, never mind, well, if I do go see it, I'll go see it the weekend after. That's Pride Weekend here in the lovely state of Ohio, so I will actually be enjoying my weekend. Never mind, I'll go see it eventually. Also, the other movie that is somewhat of a higher release is Anna, which is Luc Besson's. I don't think you can ever underestimate Luc Besson and how much he can sell a movie, and so we should talk about Anna. Anna is basically the new Lucy, just probably a lot more violent.
And if you don't know who Luc Besson is, he directed such films as The Fifth Element and the really wacky movie with Cara Delevingne and Dane DeHaan.
Which sadly got a lot of hate for it, even though it is
a great movie.
It is the one that inspired all of the amazing movies that we love today, and so that's another one that, it beats the punch, which sucked. The movie itself wasn't exactly amazing, but it wasn't horrible.
But it was good.
Either. It was enjoyable.
It was good.
Yeah, it was enjoyable.
I saw it in theaters.
Yeah. But either way, I'm gonna meh this. I like a good action spy thriller. And I think he's a pretty good director. I think he can direct some pretty good action sequences. So it's a meh for me. It's not a total sell, but also are we going, you know what I mean? Is it going to be a total sell? Probably not for a lot of people. For the last weekend, I think we only have one huge release of this weekend for June 28th. And this is a definite. I'm going to go see. Maybe I'll come spend a week with you guys. I don't know. But that is Annabelle Comes Home. And I approve of this.
I met it because I don't like horror, so I really can't disapprove it. So I'm just going to met it.
You can disapprove it. I think that's a good answer. I think that's a good reason to disapprove.
I'm just not a horror guy, even though I'm going to be forced to see It Chapter 2 in September.
I'm not going to force you. I got my enjoyment out of the first one. But I'm extremely excited for Annabelle, and I'm definitely counting. Well, I'm not counting down the days because I don't think it looks amazing, but I think it looks enjoyable, to say the least. Yesterday's also coming out, and which you know what yesterday is?
That's the Beatles movie.
That is the Beatles movie, and I'm going to actually have to disapprove on this one. And I'm only disapproving on it because I thought it already came out.
You made me laugh mid-yawn. That's really funny. You thought it came out already?
I swear I saw it somewhere already. So, we have to disapprove something that I can't exactly say I remember. So, just making a very quick run through. Yeah, I think this is the month for indie films. So, of course, link that list down below in case there's any movies you don't know of that you want to find out about. If it is an indie film, there's a lot that are coming out here lately. Some really interesting. We have an NC-17 movie coming out this year. That's a bit weird. That never happens. But anyway, Spike Lee's in a movie. Sorry.
You're good.
You look at some casting. All right. I think that brings us to the end of this podcast. Don't you agree, Zachary?
I agree.
All right, this is a relatively long podcast. Sorry about that, but you know what? We enjoy ourselves here. And of course, I'm going to be uploading 2 different videos here on YouTube. I'm going to be uploading the one with our faces. And of course, if you hate our faces, which I don't disagree, my face is kind of ugly. Well, I'm also going to upload the one with just the video content, just the audio content as well, in case you just want to listen to it.
And there's also going to be an audio podcast on what, Jake?
Not entirely sure yet. Zachary, I'll get back to you on that, and it'll be linked down below if it's up.
Okay.
I got to talk to you about some things. It's okay. Some of the technical stuff behind the camera, it's kind of making me mad, and we'll talk about it later. That's between you and me and not the camera. But either way, I'm, of course, Jacob from Jacob Is Here. I post BookTube and SimsTube videos. Also, I have several live reactions, and Zachary's TMNT video will be coming out relatively soon as I'm getting better with editing. I hate the movie.
Here's my short review. Go watch Batman vs. TMNT.
There will be a whole review, spoiler-filled. Sorry about that, people. He doesn't know how not to talk about spoilers. It's just a problem of his. And so we have a full entire spoiler review of it. I'm also planning on reviewing the first 2 episodes of Swamp Thing and Aladdin. And do you want to review Aladdin?
He'll be doing the Aladdin review. He'll be doing the Aladdin review. He'll be better at the Aladdin review than I will. I will be reviewing Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
And of course, I will also be reviewing Dark Phoenix. These are videos that'll be coming out over the next week or so. And of course, any trailer reactions that do drop from either of us, I will also be posting on this channel. I am sorry we have been awfully slow. I only get a few days out of my time.
This is also a new channel. You have to give us time to really get the move on and like understand when trailers drop, and like we want to do reviews. We have to work together with that. So be patient with us. The channel is growing slowly. This is our technical 7th podcast that we've shot. So you'll see this one, and maybe we'll do an archive thing with the other ones because they're not technically part of the canon.
Well, I mean, I don't really have them, so I can't do any archive things with that. But that's okay. It's a good idea. But yeah, of course, in any other movie, I will have several TV reactions as well coming up here relatively recently.
And I know I keep talking about it, but yes, I'm still planning on doing the She-Ra, Princess of Power, and Ultraman reactions. I have just got to have the will and the might to go watch them.
And I, of course, so we probably have to edit that, and that does not make me happy. But okay, that's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We're good. We good here.
What happened?
But I don't want to edit your videos. I don't want to edit your reactions to those things, but I'm gonna have to, and I'm just not here for that. But anyway, just to mention here, in case you're this far, I highly doubt anybody has made an hour and 32 minutes in this video, but I'm still gonna promote things. And that is, starting on Friday and Monday, I'm reacting to 2 TV shows, and this does not include Jessica Jones Season 2, which I'm going to be doing a reaction to every episode. Those will be going up random. I have 4 technically. We're just not there yet. Put your fingers down.
No, Season 3 of Jessica Jones.
Oh, Season 3, thank you. Season 3 of Jessica Jones, which does come out on a weekend I'm not going to be home. So that reaction won't be going up until later. Sorry about that. My dad's aging up. Gotta be there with him. And, it comes out the same weekend as Father's Day weekend. It's a weird weekend. It's a busy weekend. Either way, I'm reacting Jessica Jones Season 2. I'm also reacting to Big Ol' Season 3. I'm sorry. Big Ol' Lies Season 2. I'm also reacting to The 100 Season 6. The 100 Season 6 will start on Friday. It should already be up by the time you see this video. And Big Ol' Lies will be starting on Monday. And that should, be up on Monday. And then I'm also reacting to Black Mirror's episode of Miley Cyrus. Because right now I'm having a lot of fun editing. And these long videos take me a long time. And I get to have, lots of fun.
I am RZ Jones 18, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. I do toy hunts, toy vlogs, and everything else. However, I also want to take this time, if you will put this on the channel, my fiance was recently diagnosed with MS, and we have a GoFundMe page to help with bills and anything. If you guys can help with it, I really appreciate it. I'll be making sure to post that on any video that I do. The more you can contribute, the better it will be easy with a lot of bills we just got dumped on with. I really appreciate it. Much love and respect to her. Hope she's doing better. And, yeah. For my channel.
And of course, if you cannot donate, do not feel bad.
No.
But it would just be
I would also appreciate if you guys can't do that. Just share it with everybody that you know. Make sure, just let them know what's going on. I'd really appreciate it. My channel's going to be on kind of a hiatus currently due to what's going on with her. I'll be back to regularly putting up videos on my channel. I'm still doing stuff for the Weekend Movie Bro stuff, but my channel personally will be taking kind of a break until I can figure out what's going on with her. You might see the occasional toy hunt or toy review or so in that nature. I am planning on doing a review of the Marvel Legends 3-pack of Thanos, Iron Man, Doctor Strange sometime this week. So that'll probably be the next video you guys see from me coming down the road. But for right now, as always, what's the thing that I say at the end of these things?
Nothing. So as
always, that you don't like?
Huh?
That you don't like that I say?
Nothing. So as always, and of course, since he's shouting out what's coming on his channel, just so you know, I do have a schedule on mine. It's in the About section in case you're ever curious of what my days are that I put up videos. But SimStube is Monday.
He understands YouTube.
I do. Monday through Friday is SimStube. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, except June's going to be kind of packed with BookTube videos because it's the middle of the year. We have a lot of lists to go through, in which I feel like we'll have a conversation afterwards. I have a fun idea for us to do. But Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and also I stream on Twitch Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and I stream Sims normally, but on Fridays we play special videos. Video games.
And I think that's it. So thank you very much, guys, for watching.
Sorry. Do all the fun YouTube things, such as like, subscribe, comment. You still don't remember? Okay, that's good. Comment.
And as always, leave a comment because it's important to our welfare and being.
Yep, no, that's not it. But it is in the cause. Leave a comment if you want to. Obviously, you don't have to. And of course, if it is posted anywhere into podcast land, the links will always be down below. That way you can listen to it on your phone. But I'm going to try my hardest to post up 2 versions of this. One with just our faces, one with the audio. So at least you'll have those.
We'll see you guys live streaming next month on the first weekend of July. However, you guys will see our lovely mugs again sometime next week with the next podcast.
Hopefully on Saturday,
until then,
I can't promise.
Bye, guys.
Bye.